Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Anyways Moving Forward, and today I am with the amazing Nadine Muller. As you have seen her in my stories in my life, she has always been there, and it is a privilege for me to be having this beautiful conversation with you today.
Oh, thanks so much for having me, Liv, and thank you for all of those of you that are going to be watching and tuning into this. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, so today we're just gonna really have like a behind the scenes of who are you and how did you, if you guys don't know, we have made so much impact, not just here not just in the Philippines, also in Australia, because I was led by this amazing human right here, and because of her I saw the way of what's possible, and because of her resilience, of how she thinks, how she leads, it has led us to a company that I work with Nadine. We do this together with among amazing leaders as well, and we have I am very proud to say that in a year we were able to make $1 million in our company, and now we're making more in just 2 years.
Yes.
Now 2 years in, so just introduce yourself to everyone. Who are you? And like, who are you?
Get to here. First of all, I can just absolutely tell that this is going to be a great conversation that will no doubt go down many beautiful pathways, and also one that we'll probably get emotional in. So if you're down for that, that's definitely going to be all the things, and also very empowering. And we hope to really, for what to land for you is to truly see and realize what is absolutely available and out here to claim for every single person, and to just like with the decision of just doing it. Okay, so that's the first thing. And again, I just want to say, it's really incredible how we've actually come to here and how we actually met, and perhaps we can speak about that in a bit. However, what we did in a year, what we're doing in, well, actually, it was the first 7 months we created $1 million Australian dollars in this business, and then we've just kept on continuing to collapse time, and alongside Lib and having her in our team, and beautifully, being led by, myself and my husband, and all the things that, and all the people that we have here, and all the incredible humans that we lead now internationally is just truly profound. So this is a conversation we want to be in for many reasons. So who am I? Who am I?
This is it.
This is it. So, first of all, I am someone that I'm in my mid-30s. However, when I look back on my life and my life tapestry and all the things that I've done, careers, jobs, businesses, different roles and different hats that I've worn and that I've chosen to wear, I feel like I've been here many a lifetime, and I feel like I've lived double my life, right?
Yeah.
And though, to really encapsulate it in the quickest minute that I could have, I, first of all, am a very proud human who, while she's mid-35, I feel like my inner child is here to play.
Oh, yeah.
And is here to have so much fun, and is here to have so much joy and adventure in my life. So aside from all of the roles, I'm this woman that is here in the sovereign joy and the sovereign right to live a great life. And that is, first of all, who I am, someone that is here to live boldly and freely, and to have a lot of fun. That is all of our sovereign rights. Then the roles that I so beautifully choose to have is, I am a mother, I am a wife, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, I'm a leader, I'm a boss, I coach, I mentor, I am a daughter, I'm a friend, all the things that we all so beautifully get to have if we choose. And those very roles have all integrated to this business. So we lead and live and lead a heart-led company. And that is from the very values that we all have here, including Liv, including myself. And there's been many things that I've done in my life, from I was a registered nurse in a past life, I was in the military in a past life, I've run multiple businesses, and I'm now here leading humans. My zone of genius is self-mastering, coming back to self. And when we come back to self, it is truly profound. That peace and inner freedom and self-mastery that we have then sets us in great stead for everything in business, in health, in love life, in relationships, in parenting, in money, in you name it. So in essence, self-mastery is what we do here. Healing, growth, transformation. And I am leading that through somebody as the vessel or the conduit of connecting women and men and couples and families to create that for themselves, right? As an example of someone who has done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're done now with
That is the quickest way I can say, who are you?
Who are you? And a lot of people are really confused with who they are and like putting labels and who are you. Then when did you really like discover the true you, like you just said, like I am a sovereign? When did you, aside from all the roles that you were playing, like when was that?
Yeah, I love this. So it was during a time what I like to call life fucks or life collisions. And this is an invitation for anybody listening right now. What things have you endured or that you've encountered or that have been your experience or has been your exposures in your life, big things, hard things, whatever, because they now are the diamonds. That is what created me, and that is created the resilience. It created the tenacity. It created the self-mastery. So, yes, there was a period of time when myself realized that I was sleeping. And I say sleeping to potential. Sleeping, I was yet to be fully awakened. So I was living a life where I was just existing, and I thought the current jobs and the current careers and the current friendships and all the people that I was around at the time, I was destined for so much more, and yet I was staying there.
And you had that knowing.
And I had the knowing, and yet for the fear and the no, this will do, and societal conditioning, and that's just what, you know, it's meant to be, and that's what parents did or whatever else, I stayed safe in a box. Now, going back to the life collision, and this is why I love it. It was like the universe, God, source, angels, all the things divinely went, okay, Nadine, if you're not going to wake up from your sleeping life of just staying, settling, just doing it because that's just life, well, then we're going to put some things in your path to test you, to beautifully call you forth.
And how old was that? Like
Okay, so we're going to go back with now. So
we want the juice.
Yeah, we want the juice. So I'm going to say that life collision that I'm talking about was in the last 10 years. That's the last 10 years. However, really, when I look back on my life tapestry, through my life, there is just, you know, as a young girl, what I saw growing up, my parents, the scarcity, the you know, the unresolved trauma, the anger, the sadness, the inability to connect, the inability to share or be seen or to surrender, all of that, which then drove me to this life where I was just the pattern of what I'd seen and been experienced to. So I saw generational trauma just go, oh yep, here I am. Now the thing is then I became a parent. So this is why it's going to be the last, you know, 7 to 10 years that I really went, yes, all these experiences happen in life. However, it was then that I actually awakened, because then I saw my shit and my parents' shit and their parents' shit starting to come through in my kids.
Yeah.
And that's when I went, this is not okay.
Yeah.
This is, I either be the one, I be the change, I be the trailblazer, or I am carrying it through me. And I'm going to decide and take radical responsibility that, am I passing it through or does it stop with me?
Yeah, I love that. And I mean, like, with our friendship, like, there's so much to say. So much. And what was like before? Like, can you expound more? Like, how did it look like? Were you coming from a family that has, you know?
Yes. No. So I very much come from grassroots. So when I say that, I was you know, my mum and dad didn't have much money. We didn't, you know, we had everything that money couldn't buy. I will say that. However, in terms of, we were a struggling family. So, you know, I was working well before you were allowed to work so that I could help my parents pay for food. We weren't the kids that had everything new or anything like that. Again, we always, you know, coming from a Filipino background, my mum always ensured that we had food in our bellies, we had a warm bed, and we had shelter. And apart from that, that's it. And we had each other. And when I look back on that life, I'm so glad for that. I have so much gratitude for that, because what we actually needed, we had.
Yeah.
And though anything outside of that, we definitely didn't. So, you know, we come from very humble beginnings. However, also infused in that is a lot of scarcity mindset and a lot of beliefs around what people are capable of. And so, again, even, you know, my life and how I chose to take certain steps forward, it still was in a safety aspect of what I'd seen, what had been modeled to me. And I really decided at a young age, okay, I'm either going to be the exact model or I'm going to start changing the story.
And for what purpose? Like, for what purpose do you think was, that your story? Like, for what purpose do you think that you had to go through that? Like, why do you think so? Or do you believe in things happen for you, or,
Yeah. Why did I experience? Look, so that our childhood, yes, humble. Lots of things happened. It was more, I think, seeing patterns of behaviour continue to go through. So, things like wanting to, mum and dad very much raised us to be great humans and do all the thing. However, the abilities to have opportunities, we weren't able to, it wasn't even a thing. So I think from a very young age, I knew that I had to work very hard and put myself in places where, there would be a scholarship, or there would be an opportunity, or there would be something, because my parents weren't going to be able to do that. And I think that started my tenacity and started my, and I've spoken about this to you, what that meant as a little girl was I had this self-belief and this responsibility early. No one necessarily taught me that with intention. I just realized, okay, I am actually it. If I don't, and again, this wasn't intentionally, my parents loved us deeply and did what they could with the resources they had, with what they knew. And though the approach of how they parented was literally like, hey, your life's your life. You choose, you get to decide. And I love that way of parenting because ultimately from a young age, I had to decide. I am it. I am the creator of my life. Either go and grab it, or anything else is all up to me.
I love that, because that's the actual experience is your teacher.
Yes.
And because you didn't have it, you have to
create it. Nothing came easy for us.
I love that. That's like me, that's also my story, because I wasn't provided with that information. I have to fend for myself.
Yes.
And that built tenacity, the resilience of where we are right now. So that led us, every uncomfortable situation has led us to, how can I move forward instead of playing the victim of our lives?
Yes. And I saw it play out everywhere. In my military career, I was an emergency registered nurse. I kept on seeing where the same story, the same things just kept on, who I was around, the places and spaces I was playing in, everything was safe, until such time that I went, what am I doing?
Exactly.
What am I doing in relationship, how I married Dane, how we were parents, how we were traversing, all of it.
And that's the thing, life shows you what you need to learn. And that's what's happening. So moving forward now to the company that you've built, to the hundreds of lives that you have supported and led, and what are your greatest values that led you to, that is really important to you, that you think has led you to where you are right now?
Yeah, I love this question. So the reason why we've been able to build the company that we've had, or that we have now, and that is literally, we're off to greater heights, and we know that for sure. And the inherent value and the thread in all of it is we're leading with heart. And so one of our pillars is called the Heart-Led Warriors, and that's our men's work. And everything that we've done here has been born from a place of passion, has been born from a place of purpose, has been born from a place of pain to purpose, from what was a previous mess of ours that became a message. There is so much lived experience here. So not only have we beautifully created this business that is so much more than just a business, it's a mission. And people, when they feel that and when they see us in that and have this, you're like, holy shit, this is what these guys have been able to create. All these now hundreds, now thousands of people that we ripple effect this work has done. It is through the undercurrent and the thread of heart-led leadership, heart-led values. When we're talking about values, and again, underpinning all of that is an umbrella of being heart-led. Heart-led in the way we lead ourselves, heart-led in the way that we lead our clients, heart-led in the way that we create safety, heart-led in the way that we actually support people, call them forth, heart-led in the way that we look after ourselves, health, mind, body, soul, heart-led in the way that we actually model the excellence that we want in this world. Again, the value of being able to, if we want a change outside of us, we have to be goddamn certain that we're actually the change ourselves. And I think that's why we've been such an unfucking stoppable force, because we are it. And then you can't help but be magnetized to people that are going, that's embodied. I want that, I am joining that. And it's just so awesome because now this business has moved in a way where we don't even, people are talking about our mission before we are. People come to us because they're like, I just saw so-and-so's boyfriend's cousin's father's sister, whatever they had, I want that. And that speaks volumes when, you know, our clients, their friends, their family, they're noticing, they're the values of we don't even have to say it. It is just, it is being it.
Yeah, and you were saying about and you were saying about being heart-led, and you know, we hear it all the time. So how does one person step into being heart-led if that's the secret?
Yeah, like honestly, that's the secret. How often do people, and I invite anyone that's listening right now, live a life that is all about everybody else first? Perfectionism, people-pleasing, self-sabotage, or whatever it is. How about if the first step to heart-led is actually coming home to self? So going back to self, and that sounds as though, okay, how are you going to run a business if it's self though? Everything is actually self, and when we're integrated in self and we start leading ourselves with heart from here, then my gosh, again, every single area has changed. So again, if you were to come back to self and if you were to go, right, what does my heart desire? What does my life desire? Where am I saying yes? What am I saying no to? How can I actually start leading from here instead of leading from here? And when we start actually incorporating that as not just a value, however, an intrinsic just who we are, it is in your veins. Watch what happens in your life, watch what happens in your circles, watch what happens in the way you speak, watch what happens in the way you lead a business, watch what happens in your relationships, how you parent, how you model, how you do anything. It's a feeling. People see us or hear us and feel us before they see us.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're the people that go on to change the story. The trailblazers, the change makers, the people that are changing the generational patterns because they're being it and creating the change for themselves first, and they're leading from here instead of here.
Yeah, so I guess it's really being honest and being authentic, because in this world, like, everybody wants to be like, look at me, I'm the best, and you know, like, forgetting who they are.
Yeah, you know, we have been really open and transparent about, guys, you can run a business and a mission and make a fuckload of money. You create impact with people, and as a byproduct, your bank account will grow. And I'm big about that. And I've got the pleasure of business mentoring people as well. So not only do we do healing work, growth work, transformation work, we're also showing and leading people how to actually create businesses. Because when you create a heart-led business, your business can't help except for fucking soar. And so again, you know, coming back to self, working on the human first, making that not just a value that you say you'll do, you actually become that.
Yeah, become that.
And you're the value of being that, that's when things change. And that's when, you know, that's the first step. So many people are like, oh, who are you? What do you want to do? It's like, how do you know what you want to do if you don't know who you are? How do you know what your value, like, it's a question, most people will go, what are your values? And yet those same people that might be answering it don't even know who they are.
Who they are.
How do you know what your values are if you don't know who you are?
So speaking about that, like, how does one, because I'm going to chunk down.
Yes.
How does one person find who they are? Like,
I love this. So again, who are you? I invite anyone that's listening to this now, take away mother, take away child, or, you know, carer, take away your profession, take everything. Who are you outside of that? Who are you when those labels and those roles do not exist? And if we remember back to this very start of this episode, you said, who are you? And I actually said that I'm this little girl that's here to have fun. I'm here to have play. I'm here to have joy. I'm here to have adventure. I'm an inner child. I've got an inner child in me that wants to live this life as a sovereign being. Do you notice how I said that before I was the mum, before I was the business owner, before I was all of this? Because if we can introspect and actually take away all the layers of who we are, who is that person here? And again, inside every single person is actually this little person. There's wanting, craving, desiring to be home, to enjoy, to live this life. So again, the first step for who are you is asking yourself, so introspect, if I was to answer this question, who am I outside of that? And if you go, I don't know, then that is the biggest invitation for you to go,
look inside.
Right, let's start looking aside. So start with, and this is why I always start with fun and play and joy. Like, how do you have fun? like, what does play look like to you? And it's so crazy, Lib, because a lot of people still can't answer that. They go, mate, I don't even know what fun is. I don't know what I want to do. And you know what so many people will say? Nadine, I think I liked ballet 30 years ago. And I'm like, 30 years ago? You haven't had play or fun or joy or adventure? And then I remind them that for what purpose are you not enjoying yourself? Because if you want to find out who you are, you're going to find out who you are when you're having fun.
Yeah.
You're going to find out who you are when you're having play.
Yeah.
You're going to find out who you are when you're on adventure.
That's true.
You're not, and at the same time, yes, you're going to find out who you are through the hard times. You're going to find out who you are through challenge. Absolutely. However, you're also going to find out your purpose, who you are, what you want to do, when you also include who you are when you're having fun. And so, like, I start there. Who are you when you're having fun? Or do you know what you like doing for fun? And if you cannot answer that, start doing things
to
learn, do I like that? Did I like ice skating? Yes or no? Okay, cool, done. Did I like going to the coffee shop?
Yeah.
Did I like that? Yes or no? Yes? Okay, do more of that. If you didn't, move. Next thing. Like, again, keep on, you know, the word is really trying until you find the thing that you like.
Yeah. I love that. So there's a lot of questions.
Yes, I know.
In my head.
I know.
Like, I also like moving away from that conversation. Like, what's that one like breakdown moment of your life that you'd always be grateful for?
Yeah,
that it happened, that led you to now?
I don't have just one. I have to have a few. So that life collision moment I'll talk about. So, and this, we share about it a lot. So at a time, all at once, and I invite anyone that's listening now to consider where you've had something like this happen. The universe just beautifully given you all the things at once. All at once, I had my relationship and my marriage with my husband go just... We were the furthest thing from being married. We were just two people living a very separate life, so angry, so bitter, so twisted, all the things. So my marriage was in disrepute. I didn't have a marriage, essentially. However, I looked married. At the same time, I had endured a pregnancy over both pregnancies, however, particularly my second baby. My pregnancy, I spent most of it in hospital. I had a condition called hyperemesis gravidarum, and it saw me in hospital for most of my pregnancy. That same pregnancy, I went on to have a premature baby, and I nearly lost my life and my child's life during a preterm rupture of my membranes, and four catastrophic events during child labour. Again, we basically had a baby that shouldn't be here, and basically my trauma was incredibly traumatic. At the same time, I was caring for my dad, who was at the latter end of his life, caring for him at home with my mum, who had significant carer's stress. And we were caring for my dad with advanced dementia at home. It was very unsafe. She didn't have support. We didn't have money. We didn't have anything. And again, we were just this family that was struggling to make ends meet, and we were making it meet. We were just figuring it out. Of course, my nursing background, so I was helping at home. I was away from family. I was traveling. I was doing all the things. And at the same time, my marriage is a mess. My husband, you know, had significant mental health issues. He was basically wanting to commit suicide. You know, so many things were happening in my family. We had no money. I was significantly had, you know, trauma-related responses from my pregnancy. Then at the same time, again, now, that is just four of, I could probably put in more in there. However, that paints the picture of what that time looked like, very much. And I was the only one in my family, despite all of that, that could actually I was this juggling act. And everybody else I saw was just falling. And everybody else just could not cope with what was going on. And that's cool. And though I saw the little girl in me and the version of me that went, well, if I don't stand up here, nobody's coming. Yeah. Nobody's surviving this. If I don't get up out of this hospital bed, if I don't raise this child and this other child that I had at home at the same time, if I don't support this effort now, I am losing my husband to suicide. I am then raising two boys without a dad, as in and having to explain what happened to their dad. I'm going to have no father. My mum is going, and that was always eventuating. My dad was at the latter end of his life. I'm going to have my mum that's working herself to the ground being a carer full time. We're completely in the red. We exhausted all financial. We had no money. They were supporting my family in that time, and then my mum and all of her financial situation. We were literally in dire straits. We literally had, as part of like government support, we were considered in financial hardship.
Yeah.
I couldn't work. So at the time I was in the Australian Defence Force. I was working as an emergency nurse before, like during that time. I was so sick during my pregnancy, I couldn't fucking work. So it's like, not only did I not have the physical strength to do the thing, I then had no money. I had no emotional support. My husband, like I was left to my own devices. The greatest gift though, because therein was born me. So I went, okay, fuck. Here I am.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't rely on my husband. He doesn't even want to be here. My kids are looking at me. They're relying on me. My mum and dad are relying on me. They've got nothing. You know, all the other, I'm like, I am relying on this now because my body isn't able to support this. So I better have this sorted. So every day, it did not matter how much I moved a needle forward. I just kept, like there is no other word for it. I just kept on going. Super cool. And that's always, you know, I lead a lot of people in business right now, and I'm like, girls, just keep on going. That's it. And when you get to a road and it's like, I've got 2 doors, you can choose to sit down off the door, or you can just keep on going. And when you're faced with whatever is happening, and to me now I go, if there is a door that's presented to me and it's a difficult door, I'm like, all I say to myself, just keep going. The surefire way of it not working out is turning around and going fucking the other way.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
only way is actually to keep going. And whether that's in business, whether that's in relationship, and when I talk about it in relationship, not like keep going. And if you have to decide something and keep going that way, then you decide and you keep going. And so, you know, during that time, too many people relied on me, and I relied on me. And I didn't rely on anyone else because I didn't have anyone else. So I realized, what communities am I a part of?
Yeah, that's true.
Who is supporting me?
Your resources,
Yeah, and though I realized I had none. So I realized that I thought I did. I was part of organizations where I thought I did. But in the times that I needed it, where was anyone?
Where was anyone?
And so I realized, hang on a second, and this is why I love it. I realized, so my life's pretty grim right now and no one's around. Everyone's busy. Everyone's doing their thing. You know, I'll hear from them every now and then, but by this stage, this is a long time. Like, this is years now. So people are like, you know, they've got their own stuff. Same with the workplace, same with the boss, same with the manager. I had to, you know, ask for time off. I had to do, and I just went, who's actually in control of this life? Hello. Hi there. Oh, we've just had a bird arrive. Look at all these beautiful birds.
Here.
Yes. And so I realized then that I was sitting at the wrong tables. So, you know,
powerful.
Very powerful. Because then I went, where's my colleagues? Where are my work friends? Where is my boss? Where is management? Where are friends? Where is family? Where is anyone?
Trust,
no one. And I took radical responsibility of that and went, well, do something about that then. Start changing tables. So in that same year that all of that happened, I decided to leave a career in the military where I'd been for the last 14 years. I, you know, by that stage, I had been nursing since 2012. So I had been a long time in my nursing career. I also went, nah, no more. I'm not doing that. In that time, I went on the biggest journey of self-discovery. So the biggest journey.
Was that also the time when you had none and you decided to, like, I'm done?
So I went, okay, no more this, back to here.
So how did you survive during those times?
Yeah, as in with money or with just coming back to me?
with finances.
Financial.
Yeah.
So I literally left a job and went, or both my careers, and went, I know that the greatest, I say this all the time because it's so true, the greatest driver of man is need. And I remember going, if I need to make this happen, so, you know, most people don't like the word need. I love the word need because need will get you somewhere. Need will always drive your boat. Need will always create what you need to create. So I was so willing to let go of the things that were no longer serving me and trusted myself to go, I will never let my children not have a home. I will never or safety under a roof. I will never let my children not eat. I'm going to watch myself support this family in a new way now. So, and this is great that we're bringing this up because in the years prior to that, I beautifully started communities online, and I did that not really from a place of business, more so for connection, relationships and support. And I had spent a lot of time away in the military in my former career, and so connecting online with people was a really beautiful outlet for me. Little did I know that the same communities that I would create would go on to create businesses for me. And I had no idea. And that really the passion and the purpose and the mission of mine and my contract here was to actually connect people, actually lead people and to create community. And so, and this is why I love the divine timing of all of this. So in the time where I was doing all of this, I was continuing to show up in my communities. And that very showing up and nurturing, connecting with people allowed me to leverage on my online space for work. And so I stepped into the influencer marketing space, I stepped into marketing and advertising. And so it allowed me to work from home and sometimes caring for my dad, looking after all these things, support my husband through his mental health challenges, work on our marriage, work on me. And I could pick up these jobs here and there online and do that from anywhere. No longer did I have to be, deployed, go on a training, go on something. No longer did I have to be at the hospital working in emergency shifts. I could do that from home. And so I very quickly leveraged the online space and did that from a very heart-led space. I did that with creating community. And those same communities that I built over years and years and years also was part of this business grow so fast.
Wow.
So that's how I did it. And though I want to say this, I jumped before it was safe to. I jumped at a time where people were like, that is crazy. My mum was like, what do you mean you're going to leave that? How are you going to pay? And I'm like, I'm figuring it out. And it's that kind of, what would you call it? It's that kind of belief in self and the trust in I'm going to always make something work and anything could be better than that. And if those people aren't there, then my goodness, am I not going to be there doing the job? And it's that level of almost being, what would be the word? Almost so out there, right? That actually got me here.
Box. Yeah. Adding more value to the community, how can I support? Yeah, and using your resources, I'd love that. I really love that. I have another question. What is your why?
Yeah, why? So most people will say that what we do is to, lead other parents and lead other adults and all the thing. But the biggest why is actually if we think about this world right now, and essentially how the generational repatterning works and how, really we've got to this world now where there's war, there's hatred, we're seeing the worst of humans now more than ever with the rise of social media, with the rise of money, with the rise of all these things, we're seeing it now. And though, people like this is just always how humans are going to be. This is actually always how this is going to be, and that's just how it is. Whereas for us and our team and our mission, our why is because we know that with our work and with humans coming back to self, having mastery, having healed from their shit, grown, transformed, know who they are, know what they like to do for fun, are aligned with what they want to do, and they're living happily, and when they have internal freedom that creates outside peace, then the world changes in one generation. Because why? when those people go home and they start living their own life from here rather than out here, and with all the conditioning and all the trauma and all the things, and they actually come back to here clear of that and they're a completely cleared vessel, they go home, they create babies, those babies are then modeled from them, and that is how you change the world in one generation. If every single person actually took responsibility of their own life and co-created children that then modeled from them, one generation is all it takes. So our mission and our why is so much deeper than just the humans that we serve. We know that there's more humans or adult humans that we serve, and young adults, youth, like we're wanting to serve every human. However, at the bottom end, the very root of that is actually changing little people's lives, and little people's lives that aren't even born yet, because we also know that intergenerational trauma can happen before someone is actually born. So if we start changing the cellular level and the neurological function of someone living, then we are hugely transforming the generations in the future by the work that we do here.
Yeah. So aside from work, like, why are you here, Nadine?
Why am I here in this earth?
Yeah, like you, like the person, like that little girl, like what's your purpose? Like,
yeah.
What are you doing?
So quite literally, my soul's contract here, and I know this divinely, is to connect people. So, and to connect people in more ways than one. Back to themselves, back to the life that they actually want to live. Awaken from their fucking potential. No more sleeping on it. No more like this will do. They fucking actually want to, they're loving on it. They're loving sick on their life. And though, connecting them to their people. So no longer going, I don't fit in. I don't have friends. I don't have a family. I know that I'm here as a conduit, and I'm a conduit of connection to self, of connection to people, of connection to communities, and that connection goes forevermore. And so if we just built this world where there were all these conduits everywhere, and now they were, all over this beautiful world that we live in. And imagine if there were more conduits that are leaders that are operating from a heart-led space, that are showing people how to go back home. And if I get to the end of my life, and I've done that in multiple, and the end of this life, because I've lived many a lifetime, and I can say, on a deathbed, whenever that is, or whenever I choose to leave this earth, that I go, I didn't leave and just kind of lived my life.
Yeah.
And again, not like, I don't want to just kind of live it for myself. I don't want to just kind of live it for my family. I'm here going, I completely know who I am, and I'm continuing to learn who I am because we evolve. And then I want more than just what I want and what my family wants. I want to live a life also outside of me and my family. And that's Ikigai. And we know that Ikigai is having the full fulfillment of life. So you lived a life for yourself, you lived a life for your family and those that you immediately love and nurture and care for, and those that you got to be in their presence for their lifetime, whatever that looks like. And then you live something much bigger than you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Perfect.
Ikigai.
Like the reason, like a lot of people are so lost with life and everything else. And I really do believe that if you see this one person that you admire so much, because that's when my life changed as well, when I saw Tony Robbins and said, what is this guy doing? And I started modeling and following his steps. And that's when my life changed. So, like, if to someone who's listening right now, like, if you find someone who you admire so much, like, look at her life, like, where has she been through? What has she done to actually be here? And that's what we are here for. That's why we are leading ourselves first. And then you see it, and then you just follow the path, and you reach out to us, because that's the shortcut to, to wherever you want to be.
100%. Gone are the days where you have to figure it out on your own. And I was that woman for such a long time. I'll just figure it out on my own. No, you don't. You don't have to figure it out on your own. And there are people, life is too short. And there are people like us that can literally show you very quickly how to go from where you were, broke, sad, no money, not in alignment with what you wanted to do, sleeping on your potential, like in jobs and careers that just weren't, no longer lighting you up, to then living the life we do now completely free from our own shit, free from stuff that was never ours to carry. And then now we get to, and taking full radical responsibility of ourselves, on our lives, so that anything that we're choosing, then we've chosen, and we get to, beautifully lead ourselves down that path, whatever that looks like. And I think that's what most people get wrong. They they don't follow in the footsteps, and they're taking insight and advice from people that are not living the life that they want.
That's true.
How can you follow and seek information and resources from people that are living your life, that are actually or living the life that you want? Seek out those. What are they doing? What is their story? What are their values? What are their routines like? And when you start modeling that, you can't help but start creating changes in your life.
Yeah, that's what I do. Like when I see it, I'll do that.
Yes.
Like it's not even like jealousy or anything like that. It's like, I want to be where you are right now. So I'm going to embody that. I'm going to model that so that I can be where you are right now.
Yes.
That's why you sit at tables where you are celebrated, where you are seen, like, you know, talking about ideas.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then energetics doesn't lie, right? So you start putting yourself at tables bigger than your own. And you start being part of those conversations, and you start learning who they are, what they do, who they be.
Yeah.
And then more than that, you actually in that calibration and in that frequency, your life will exponentially change if you did nothing, even like if you did nothing and just was around it. Your life will start to shift. Then you team it with taking action and following in their footsteps, taking their guidance, you know, like taking them on as a mentor and following their steps, or, you know, the ways in which they've created that. Like that is how we've collapsed time. That is how this business has moved so quick. That is how we've gone from where we were, stuck, broke, fucking like depressed, not wanting to do that, to here completely free. And when I say free, like money is the byproduct. The ultimate freedom is having time. The ultimate freedom is waking up in the morning and going, I get to do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
The ultimate freedom is being able to be with your children. The ultimate freedom is living your life and going, my choice is mine today. We created this. I've created this. And again, there is nothing better than freedom of that. Freedom of time, freedom of self, freedom out of here. The byproduct, money is an exchange. That comes as a result of living out your purpose. That comes as a result of healing your shit. That comes from creating business from a place of a heart led.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that is,
and
it's so simple.
I love what you said about being quiet and, you know, just collapsing time, because ever since I'm in Australia right now, and ever since I've been here, I've been a student watching Nadine's life and her family and how I've seen how they operate. And for me, it's like I'm learning so much from a different caliber, and now I have collapsed time because I now got to heal whatever there was in my family just by being surrounded by these amazing humans who I get to model from.
Yes.
So that's like, you know, you get to be a student all the time. And that's why, like what you said, surround yourself with people who are there to teach you something.
Yes.
And, you know, just even with their being there, I've already gained so much. And then said, Nads, I'm ready to go home now. I've learned so much. I've healed myself. Just, you know, just being quiet.
Being here. And that's it. Sometimes there's no noise to make. Sometimes there's no disruptions to take or to listen to. Sometimes actually it's the observation. And it's that ability to actually allow things to land and go, okay, you know, people always say what they don't want. However, are people saying what they want?
Yeah.
And I know for me, like the time that we built this, I say it all the time. In the time that we built this company, we saw all these other people get disrupted, get interrupted, follow the next exciting thing. You know, they weren't willing to sacrifice and do what it actually takes to build this. And so I always say, like, be willing to get so fucking uncomfortable for a bit to get really comfortable now, later. And for us, like those years of discomfort was actually the biggest admission to life of freedom. And I'm wondering, like, you know, that is actually the most uncomfortable to me. Living a life completely shackled to yourself, to your mind, to your problems. Freedom, you know, and the ultimate comfortable life is being free of those.
Yeah.
And, you know, the saying goes, the obstacle in the way is the way. You know, we know that, you know, certain animals faced with, you know, the wind and the elements, some of the animals will go towards the wind. Some animals will actually fear it. And those that go straight through it, they harbour the hard stuff initially. And then once they do that, it's gone. Whereas some of the animals are still dealing with months and months and months of hardship because they weren't willing to do the hard.
Willing,
you know? And again, we've created this in the time that people were thinking about, maybe I'm going to go do the thing. We just went and did the fucking thing. You know, like in the time that people were thinking about their next step, I made fucking 10. Like, and I was willing to meet whatever outcome. I was willing to meet whatever consequence. I was willing to meet whatever was on the other side of that decision, because I had decided that I'd have full responsibility for every choice and decision that I make.
Everybody was sleeping.
And I say it, everyone's, on the most part, wild generalisation, is sleeping to their potential. And I can say that from a woman that did that for a very long fucking time. And I don't want any more women to be doing that. I'm here for more women to become multimillionaires. I want more women from grassroots. I want more women who have no financial power or freedom yet to create it for themselves. And it is getting around people that were where you were in the past or where you are now. Get those people that were where you are now and have changed their whole life, and watch how quick they're going to go, yo, come here, I'll show you the whole staircase. You want to know to get from there to here? Get those people that don't just talk about it. They go, hey, here's the whole direction. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Oh, you're about to enter this door. Take this decision. You now have autonomy. Which do you want to choose? That's the fastest path to success.
A few more questions before we finish this episode. Like, what is your message to everyone who is afraid right now to do the thing and are willing to actually be where you are right now?
Yeah. You know what? My answer to this will fucking always be more afraid of staying where you are. Look at you. Be more afraid of living the same life. Be more afraid of not awakening to your potential. Be more afraid of getting to the end of your life and being like, I fucking didn't do it. Be more afraid of that. Be more afraid of, you know, not being able to experience fun. Be more afraid of, you know, getting to the end of your life and go, did I fucking do it? Or did I kind of do it? Or did I just, you know, because the thing is you're going to get to a point, and perhaps, you know, if you're fortunate enough to have time at the end of your life to reflect on your life, and it's not a sudden end of life, there's going to be a period of time where you know you're dying. And if that's the case, can you go, hand on my heart, I lived, I loved, I don't need extra time, I'm good. Right? Like, I'm good. I fucking led from here. I wasn't here. I said what I wanted to say. I created something bigger than me. I didn't just live my life for me. I lived it to the fullest of its breadth. I lived it to the fullest, that people saw me in my brilliance, that people and I saw me in my brilliance, or the world, whoever is in your world, saw you completely show up for yourself. And that you can get to the end of that time and get to the end of that life and go, I'm good. I don't need to beg somebody, God, source, for more time. I'm great. I surrendered to this beautiful moment of life. I'm ready and I'm willing to cross the next bit. Be more afraid of that. Wow. So back to your question, you know, afraid to take the step, be more afraid of not taking the step. Be more afraid of living your life, you know, still shackled. Be excited to live unfucking tamed. Be excited to be fully you. Be excited to express in every single way. Be excited to go, I wake up today and I get to have choice of what my day looks like.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That's exciting.
And going back, find out who you are. What do you like doing for fun? And if you can't answer that, that is your biggest invitation to figure that the fuck out. Because if you can't answer that, more than any red flag in your life, I don't care what's going on in your life, those two things you have control over.
Yeah.
They're the biggest red flags.
Wow.
Turn that into a green one.
And I can see the passion in you know, saying that, because I know that it was really hard.
And so easy.
And so easy at the same time. And,
so easy.
You know, there's just so much gratitude in being able to experience that, because right now we're living a life of, yep, I know how that feels and I don't want to be back there.
No. And I want other people to experience that. And though only those that are willing to do what it takes, only those that are willing to face themselves, because that's all it is. It's facing yourself. It's facing the parts of you that aren't always pretty. And though in order to have the true blessing, in order to have the true, freedoms, you've got to know the side of you that aren't the prettiest. And then you can see the bloom.
Embrace everything.
Yes.
Loving everything that you are, because who else?
Why else?
Why else?
Right? Who else? Why else? And for what reason other than to completely accept yourself whole, completely, perfectly, imperfectly as you? We're here for that experience. This is a human experience.
Yeah, and if you were to be a third person to the person that you are now, just giving yourself that security that, I got you.
Yeah.
No matter what, I got you, and loving yourself despite the flaws and everything else. And that's how we made this happen.
That is literally how. There is no doubt, there is absolutely no doubt. The more we grew, business, mission, life, abundance, the richness of freedom, of money, byproduct, all of that, it grew exponentially as we grew.
Yeah.
Now, we're not the only success of that though. All of our clients, as they grow, outside of them grows. This is just fact. This is universal law. It's the biggest permission to give someone that they get to give to themselves. What happens when you discover who you are, figure out what you want to do, and you go on the biggest journey of you? Your life changes.
Yeah, because there's no, fear doesn't exist. I know where I'm going. I'm very sure I know who to reach out to. I know how to ask. I know exactly where I'm going. And that's how we built this company, because we knew where we were going, and we were so sure.
Yes.
And we have the same mission. And when you work with people who has the same mission as you are, and you add fun, it becomes so much.
And it's fun. This is just sovereign being. If you're listening to this and you can't remember the last time you had fun, fucking red flag. Red flag again. We are our biggest red flag if we're not careful.
That's true.
And so are we going to be a green flag? Are we going to be the green light at the traffic light? Or are we always going to be the red flag for ourselves? And you said something so great. You said we knew where we were going. We did. And conversely, there were lots of times where we didn't know, and we moved anyway. It's there's so many times in my life when I let go of that, when I let go of this, when I did certain things I did not know. And though
I just kept going.
This is just keep going, and this is what universe, God, source will always do. When you move and you just have belief and you move anyway, every time the step will appear. Every time. Move before you see a step, and a step will fucking appear. I'm telling you. And if just more people believed in that, I have so much evidence of that now that I get so excited when I don't know, because I move anyway. And therefore that step that I know will appear eventually will always appear. And I wonder who else listening to this right now can have the self-trust, the belief, and the divine guidance that how about if I just move anyway and I just keep going, that the step is going to appear irrespective, the perfectly aligned step for you. Go let that land.
And that is why I hang out with you, and I'm so grateful to be able to meet you in this lifetime, because I'm not sure where. I know I'm into greater heights. However, I'm so grateful that we're in this together, that we're having shitloads of fun.
So much fun.
We do these conversations always, and we cry and we laugh, and we're on a mission. So I'm really grateful that I get to have you as my sister, and someone that I work with, and someone that I do the mission with, and someone that I have fun with, all the roles in one circle. And it's just a blessing. And I knew that I had called you from the start. I knew that it was going to happen. I'm just really grateful for you, and that's why I'm not kidding. Be with people Nadine, who is also a reflection of me,
You.
outsourcing myself
Yes.
to someone who believes in you
Yes.
on times when you can't believe in yourself.
Love that. And again, you know, often we think we've got to do these on our own, and we think that we've got to create this life where you've got to make the step. And it's like, how about if it's actually not about just yourself and you get to collaborate with people? And the fastest way to places that you've never been is actually not doing it alone.
Yeah.
And I've never wanted to just create this thing where it's just ourselves. I've always desired to create this movement and this mission that is beyond just, you know, me. I want the world to see what we're doing. It creates creating
Exactly.
leaders and movers and shakers and trailblazers and, you know, people that actually stand in their brilliance
Exactly.
and go and do it. And there's no,
Yeah.
like, you and I collided in each other's paths for a reason, and now look at us.
And that's just how we roll. Like Nadine does the ideas because that is your brilliance.
Yeah.
Well, I know myself very well that I'm very good at executing.
Yes.
And that's when, like, there's no one above and below.
No.
Like for me, it's like, yeah. So lead the way and I'll follow because
Yes.
that's how I work. That's how
that's you leading.
Yeah, that's how I lead myself as well, because I get to get it from someone, and you know that there's no one above, there's no one
No.
below, just that
And fuck, like,
collaboration.
that's also how I've led. I've gone, lead me through this. What do I do with this bit? I don't know. And that's mastering yourself.
mastering.
To know that you're always learning.
Yeah.
We're forever the student. And you are the universal law of oneness. Everyone is equal. Like, every single person is equal. And it's like, if we just realize that and actually have full body fucking like embodiment of that, and we see that outside of ourselves and within ourselves, then we can only see what we know and perceive. And if we start operating from the place of we know everything and we're self-mastered, which is why I always say, I am continuing to master who I am. Self-mastery is my zone of genius, and yet I'm continuing to master who I am.
Yeah, and you know, because it just popped in my mind, like everybody thinks that they should be the first there, they should
Yeah.
be the top, like they should be the boss, they should be the CEO.
Yeah.
It's like, for me, it's like, you know what, where you are,
Yes.
do it with someone.
Yes.
Someone to make it more fun, because it's lonely at the top.
Yes, it is. And you know what? This is such a beautiful line to finish on. Like, everyone is their own life CEO.
Yeah.
Like, you are it.
Yeah.
And if you want to be the CEO at the top of somewhere, then first be the CEO of your own life.
Yes, exactly.
Right? Like, CEO the fuck out of your own life, and then see what you wish to create. And when you have huge mastery of yourself and you actually arrive at the top of your own fucking mountain, only then can you lead yourself to a place
Exactly.
where you've never been.
Exactly.
CEO your own life.
I'm a CEO, like with where I am.
I'm a CEO. Yours, everyone's a goddamn
Nadine
CEO.
is we are. I'm a millionaire. Nadine
Yes.
is a millionaire.
Yes.
Like, you know, it's like just
Anyone can be a millionaire.
Anyone.
This is what I mean. I talk about this all the time, just quickly. People are printing money off a printer that you put ink into. Like, I'm here just going, there's people plugging it in for e-money and an online currency. There is so much money in this world and so much abundance in this world, and we just have to learn how to create it. And once you're
sure.
around people, and we know that money is energy and it's an exchange and all the thing, and once you realize how easy it is, and I'm coming from a place of somebody that had no money, that was in huge financial, you know, declaration of debt, declaration of bankruptcy, declaration of, you know, being in huge financial hardship and scarcity. And yet I am here now as a multimillionaire, change the fucking story. The only person that was in the way was myself.
Yes,
And
yeah.
was a lack of awareness and a lack of, you know what, I'm going to learn about this. You only get better at something by learning.
Yeah.
Start learning. Start learning from people that can show
Start
you,
creating,
and you
yeah.
will change your
And
story.
take action and be committed to your
Done.
word.
To go do what you said
Yeah.
you're going to do. If you want to change the money story, go and change the money story.
I love that. And that we're not going to finish our conversation. Anyway, so thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank
It's
you.
my first time again to go back to, and my first video podcast.
It's all been, cool,
so
babe.
I'm going to continue this with the people that I admire and, you know, learn from. So
Yes.
thank you so much for gracing us with your time today.
Thank you,
And to
my love.
everyone who's watching, like, what is your final message?
Yeah, look, first of all, I want to say thank you to Lib, and you've come across this podcast for a reason. And, you know, standing and sitting beside me is a beautiful human that is here to impact, that is here to disrupt, that is here to lead, that is here to beautifully also bring people home. And we get to do this together, and we get to do this even if you're watching this going, oh my goodness, how are these people doing this in collaboration? How are they creating this live? Then this is your very big invitation to start the journey on you and get around people that can show you, just like this woman, just like me, just like people like us together, that are, you know, changing the story for many people to change their own, because they have. Okay, now, so 1, thank you for having me. 2, I fucking love you so much.
I love you.
3, I am so glad that all that time ago you decided to send me a message and step forward, and you decided,
yes,
and you put yourself somewhere. And then I went, I like this. Because you created the opportunity for yourself, and then you continue to create opportunities. Yes. So it's a message that I want to land in here. Where are you waiting for life to bring you opportunities? Go and start making your own opportunities. There's a few things that we've spoken about today, and like, honestly, right now, the things that you're traversing through, going through, walking through, anything that you've endured in the past or been exposed to and have experienced in the past could be your biggest life diamond, and could be the very thing that you create the mission from, just like me. Second of all, we've talked about the obstacle in the way is the way, and quite often the obstacle in the way is you. And if you have got anything that you're wanting to change, you get to ask yourself, am I actually doing anything about that? Thirdly, I want to say, right now you have a choice after you watch this. You can go about your day, you can just continue as normal, be a little bit inspired, or you can choose to actually take inspired action and do something about what we've said today. Start writing down, who the fuck am I outside of my role? Start writing down, start introspecting who you are outside of all the things you do, and actually start taking action steps right now from this point forward, and continuing to do that in a way that, as we've kept on saying, you just keep on going. You do not stop. If you want to have a place where you stop, that's where you're 100% not going to create it. I think that's everything.
I love that. So anyway, like what she just said, she said it all. The power that you have right now are the choices that you are making. So after you hear this, then the decision is yours. The ball is yours. We've already led. We led the way, and now it's your turn. So again, thank you so much for being here. Where can they find you, Nadine?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram at Nadine Muller. You can find us nadinemuller.com.au, on TikTok, on Threads, on Facebook, you name it. Go and check out what we do, our mission that we have here. You'll see retreats, you'll see workshops, you'll see things online, courses, lots of free communities that you can be a part of. There is no excuse to start development work here. We literally, free, low cost, right through to higher end investments. It's all there for anybody ready to change their life.
Yay. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.